Is the mic working? Can you guys hear me out well there? Voice Queen, let me know if the audio is good on the mic. Sweet. All right. All right, folks. We're going to see you in a few minutes. We're going to get this whole thing rolling very soon. We'll see you guys shortly. All right, everybody here, welcome to the session. Let me know if the mic is good. Folks, My name's Rodrigo. For those of you that don't know me, now you do, right? But for those that do, welcome back. I'm excited here for another session with Nick Shaheen. Today, we do have something really cool planned on for you guys for today, right? And you all guys want to stay here. Make sure you stay till the end. Stay tuned because we will be doing something we've never done before. Before we do get into that, I do want to introduce anyone who is new to Nick Shaheen. He's our analyst on the Benzinga Options newsletter services and, of course, the Options Inner Circle chat room, which is what we're going to be going over today. And Halal, good to see you here, my friend. So Nick has been doing his thing here with us at Benzinga for about 10 years. He's consistently killing it for all of the chat members. And even for those of us here at Benzinga that work here, we also take advantage of his trades, of course. So this week, as usual, we will be going over a lot of the information inside the inner circle. We're going to give you a sneak peek into the magic and how it happens. But really quick, before I do turn things over here to Nick, I do want to remind everybody here that we do have a few different things that we'll be doing tonight. After Nick is done, right? I see there's people still coming in here, that's fine. After Nick is done today, we have about maybe an hour 30, 2 hours here. After Nick is done, we will be going over a few tools, right? If you guys are familiar with Benzinga Pro, in the chat. If you're not, put a 2, because you will learn some cool things here that you can do with this. And as a trader myself, I'm going to show you how I personally use it. But basically, we will be showing that to you at the end. That's something that we do offer here at Benzinga to help you with the trading. I'm really pumped to talk about this. But for now, let's go ahead and bring on the man of the hour here. Everybody's good to go. Let's go. What's going on, Mr. Shaheen?
Hey.
Good to see you, man. So a couple of 2s and 1s. Basically, Pro is like a research terminal, but we're gonna focus right now on the Inner Circle chat room. We have Nick Shaheen, lead trader, right, from the options chat room. So if you are coming to this session for the first time, put a 1 in the chat. If this is your first time here, if you've been here before, put a 2 in the chat.
Hey.
And
we have a lot of 2s.
They come rolling in hard.
I see names I recognize. Go home. What are you doing here? Go home. No, I'm just.
Oh, man. So, look, I know that today we have something very special planned. We have some people that are still trickling in, right? So we're going to throw a quick poll here for the folks that are here, right? What's most important to you as a trader? Is it retirement? Is it long-term returns? Are you looking to generate cash flow, right? Let's just put what you honestly think, what you're really trying to accomplish with options, and let's see if the guys get it right. Because we will be going over different strategies. Nick will explain to you and how he's successfully done them even this week and today. Credit put spreads, iron condors, butterflies. All right, we do have a big chunk of the poll here. I think we can call it out. So 85% of the people that voted here, Nick, are looking for cash flow. I think you have something very special for them.
Yeah, that's my jam. That is my jam. I'm going to take over your screen. So let me see here. Continue. Yeah, I'm going to steal it away from you. What do we want here? What do I have? ES. I got to pick the right screen. Maybe it's this one. No. 1 second. Okay, I think it's this one. Tell me what you see. There it is, yeah. Okay.
What we're looking at, yep, that's the chart from Nick. But yeah, Nick, by the way, for those that were asking where Nick was, he was in the live room. He does it Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So that's where he just.
Yeah. So today was extra special. Today was. It's one of those rare days. We had one in the last 2 months that was violent. So what happened today? A rainbow mess. I'll walk you through it. Settle down. So what happened was the Bears made a lot of money. The Bulls made a lot of money. And the Bears lost a lot of money. And the Bulls lost a lot of money. That rarely happens. And I think today happened because we were opening flattish. And I'll show you this beautiful rainbow. Let me walk you through what happened today. And then I'll tell you what you need to know for the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And then we'll jump into what we do and how how you're going to want to join. So before the market started, I was working on my morning note, which I do it for the team every day. 2 days ago, I drew this green thing, exactly how you see it. I drew it live in the live room. And then this price action happened until here. And then 5:30 in the morning, my time, the whatever, blah, blah, blah came out. We fell apart. So for 2 days, we basically called the price action the way it is. Even this dip was not a problem. Right here, I said I'm going long, and this worked out. Right here, a couple of people in the chat room, in the live room, said they were going to short. They made a lot of money, and I bought longs at the end of the day. They made some money. I said, you know what? I don't have enough longs. I'm looking to risk them for the overnight. So maybe I'll lose some money tomorrow on quick scalps, but that was for fun for me. So this looks like a mess, but it has so much information. And if you want, we can start with my perspective on the market and then tell you how you need to be in a room like us, like ours, in order for you to be more successful. I don't care whether you trade like me or not. I think you being in my room will make you better, because we have 363 people in the room today. At least 24 of them are firing off information, not noisy. Everybody has their specialty. Yesterday, one guy gave me a line, and I'll show you how important that line was. It saved our butts today. And so his input yesterday was impeccable. And while this loads, I'll show you, we drew a line based on his comments. So he watches order flows and algos and basically what the big boys and girls are doing. And he gave us lines. And he told me that the S&P has a seller at a certain level from dark pools. So he said the SPY had dark pool sellers. There it is. Yesterday, he gave me a number, 412.7. I'm going to go from memory. Coordinates. Yeah, 412.7. So I drew a line yesterday and I moved it over here today. And look at how accurate that was today. This number he gave me yesterday. And watch, I'm going to move it over to yesterday. Look how pivotal this line has been for days. So what is that line? This is a dark pool, which means that it's a pile of money that we don't know who it is, where it is. We know that they come out and they love to trade the S&P off markets at that level. Look, today, twice we failed exactly at it. And shockingly, headlines break out exactly where they're supposed to break out. Also shockingly, that when we were rallying, I said the options are showing downside pressure. I said towards 410, but I didn't think it was possible. So I drew a box a little bit higher than 410 on the SPX. And we came down to it, we stalled, and then we sliced right through it. So the information from the room is going to make you a better trader, help you make fewer mistakes. Okay. So what's going on? Nothing but normal price action inside of an abnormal market. So the dark pools here, that's a fresh dark pool that came up in the last couple of days. This box is a bunch of much bigger dark pools that were in play a few months ago. So we are playing around with huge dark pool money. We are playing around with the base of the February rally. We're playing around with the base and the pivotal zone from the Ukraine flash crash. And the asshole today that came out and caused all of this is the same asshole that caused all of this in January 24th, 2022. The same cornhole that they still let him open his mouth. So that would be your buddy Bullard. If you're watching Mr. Bullard, you got bad juju on you, friend. What is the point of him saying whatever he wanted to say? It's not going to change reality. He has a boss. They met. They told us what they decided. They said, we're raising for a long time at a slower pace. We're going to do a quarter now. Why would he come out and contradict his boss and say, I want 2 half-point raises? Why say that? What's the freaking point? He cannot push his boss into doing it. So what's the point? He shouldn't be allowed to say that. If I was elected president, I would make it my mission in life to find how he's cheating on these comments. He must be profiting off of it, off of that topic. Let's see what we can do with the information. And It is tradable. So they're creating a mess with their words. They cannot change reality. So how about this? This is a stock. Forget what it says, who it is. This is a stock. If I bring you the stock and I say, what's going on? Is there something weird going on? You would look at these daily candles and you would say, no. Would you be looking for headlines? This is today's candle. Would you be looking for headlines? You'd look at it, no. All right, how about yesterday, the day before? Is this a bad week? No. Okay, so there's nothing to see. So how about we just calm the hell down and let's see if we can figure out what's going on in this chart. All right, so I'll take my pen again. Let's go back to, actually, before I take my pen, I need to move it this way. Okay. Now I'll take my pen. So back here, early 2022, we had, lip, and then we tried to hold levels once, twice, and we lost it. The normal thing to do is to recover the level we lost, and we couldn't. We failed. We tried it again. We had a fake out. We failed. We tried it again and again and again, and now we're trying it. So this is the one time we're trying to exceed these two, and we did. So anytime we have a breakout, and by the way, this is an inverse head and shoulders that has this target upside, potentially, ideally. So this battle is like this battle. We're trying to clear this prior fail, which, by the way, extends to like 3,900, 3,890 SPX. So even if we dip to 3,890, we have the opportunity to come back in the next couple of weeks to take this out, the prior fail, which is recently 4,200, 4,201, whatever were failed. And then we have 300 to 500 points if we can do that. So my goal this week, my goal for my team this week, I sent out a video on Sunday night like I do all the time. The goal is this week, just hold. You don't need to make upside, hold. And we are holding. Today was disappointing and pissing me off, but we are holding. So short of a massive disaster tomorrow, we've done our job for this week. If you're looking for more upside, you've done your job. Next week, you can meander. It's a short week. Unfortunately, it's drama. And the US is closed on Monday. The world isn't. So we're blind to the trading on Monday, unless you're trading the futures. So we have the opportunity in the next 2 weeks to take this out. So now it's a game of levels. The most recent fail, the most recent bounce. So that's where we're at. There's nothing to see. There's nothing to freak out about. The RUT already broke out. This is the RUT's neckline for the inverse head and shoulders, and they've already confirmed it. This is the same thing. Shoulder, head, shoulder. The opportunity is this much. I'm loosely interpreting it here. So they broke out. They took halfway. By the way, I do have lines to show that. They bounced off the neckline. So they are on their way to confirm it. And here are my lines. And my lines were there beforehand. They met target 1. Target 2 is after the dip and confirming it. So there's nothing to see. It's just do yourselves a favor. Be happier and stop listening to news. If you were plastered to see the report this morning, I ask you why. What were you going to learn that you don't know already? Inflation did not disappear. You know that because you go shopping every day. It didn't get much worse either. Some things got better, some things didn't. So the report, if it told me that inflation disappeared, it's a lie. If it told me inflation got worse, it's a lie. So why bother with it? And more stupidly, why do machines react to it? They call them artificial intelligence. I call horsepucky on that one. They are as dumb as they come. It's like a dog. They're dumber than my dog. My dog is smarter than that. So anyway, nothing to see. It's just price action and market maker fleecing us with these fake headlines they create. It's all a circle. They're all in cahoots. Everybody's making money off the retail traders. How can we beat them? Get together with 300 of your friends. You become unbeatable. You become unbeatable. You become less likely to make mistakes. That is a fact. And I'm going to show you a few things just from today in the live room. A couple of messages. And a third one that I just got handed over by a hot rod. By the way, Doc says hi. He's not going to be here. Okay. Look at this message I got today. I couldn't freaking believe it. This guy, his name is Lou. This is today. This is a private message to me in the live room. He says, I love the process in this room. You need to pay attention, but this is going to answer a lot of your questions here. I love the process in this room. It's a perfect fit for my full-time gig. I get in, I scalp the written spreads, iron condors. So in the morning, I share an iron condor, and I'll show you what that is in a second. It's basically a trade that says we're going to be between here and here today, and I'm going to make 25% if I'm right. I share it usually at the open, and it's based on just probability, no charts, no nothing. A little later in the day, I get clues on the range based on charts and price action in the options. Then I update another one, not to take both, but to take one or the other. And then if somebody pops in later and says, hey, what are you looking at now? I'll say, okay, here's another iron condor. Today I offered two, both worked. One paid $90 per contract, one paid $130, $135 per contract. And then somewhere in the middle of the morning, I'll say, if you want a high payout bet with low risk, an iron butterfly is your friend. If I have enough data, I will share one in the live room, and you can scalp $100 to $300. 3 days ago, it paid $1,000 per contract, but those are rare. So anyway, so to continue what he's saying, he scalps written spreads, iron condors or iron butterflies, ICs or IBs, and can do my main gig, no muss, no fuss, been averaging $500 a day. And the worst day I've had is $180 loss. Thanks so much. And he's new. I know he's new. Here's another message from a new guy as well. Also a private message. Actually, I missed it. Somebody, Doc, said, hey, you missed this comment. He posted for me to comment on him. This person is definitely new. Second day in the room, closed 2 trades with 80%. Mic drop. This made my day. This came late in the day, and I was starting to get upset because of the price action. That message just perked me right up. So when you're trading with friends, people are looking out for each other's backs, high-fiving each other. It's not a noisy room like a typical Discord, I promise you. And it's well organized. It's like everybody has their job. We have about 10 people now trying to guess the close for the day. And if you can do that with credit spreads, it's a moneymaker. It's an ATM machine. Lose 1 out of 10, 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10 maybe if you get aggressive. But if you avoid the maximum loss on 1, 2, or 3, then you're making consistent income for a long time. And how much money do you need for that? My answer to you is you don't need any money until you figure it out. You need to trade with fake money until you figure the stuff out. Once you figure it out, these iron condors I'm talking about, they pay about $80 to $110 per $500 spread. So you risk your maximum loss is $400, and your opportunity is to make $100 every day or per setup. So ideally, somebody with a small account can still do that. I don't recommend you risk, if you have $500, I don't recommend you risk $400 on one trade, but they are doable. So it's not like I'm asking millions of dollars. Any account can do it if they can study the craft.
Right. It's
every once in a while it gets in trouble. And if you don't ask a question early enough, you will pay for it. And it will set you back a lot, and it's frustrating. It doesn't blow up accounts, but it's frustrating.
It's good for cash flow. The other thing to just let the folks know is that they do have access to private message you to work out a custom strategy based on their account size, risk profile, schedule, all that stuff, right?
You have, okay, so everything I just said is not the service. Everything I just said is bonus if you can join me in the live room. The live room that I've just talked about for like 25 minutes, 19 minutes, is all about bonus. It is called the live room. I created it just so we can trade quickly, just so we can have the opportunity to trade fast, learn on the fly, a lot of learning, a lot of lessons throughout the week, like complete lessons. Okay, so in the live room, you can message me directly. I just showed you 2 messages. These are direct messages. Red, it's direct. If you cannot be in the room at all during the day, you can pop in and out from work on your phone, wherever. If you cannot do that and you prefer to just when you get home, the room is closed, how can you reach me? You can pop into the chat room, which has 138 people right here, right now, after hours. Hey, in the chat room, and ask whatever you want, say whatever you want, converse whatever you want, or direct message me. So, whoops. That was a happy click. So this is a personal DM, so nobody knows about it. Only I can read it. I will respond in private. So you can, whichever one suits your style. This is a static chat room. It's open 24/7. You pop in it. When I see messages, I'm not there all the time, but when I pop in, I'll see new messages and addresses, and I tackle them. So between this one and the live room, by the way, you will have a chat room. Like, we will have hundreds, 363, I believe, was the high point when I noticed today. At this point, I had 304. That was late in the day. What about this one? 321, a little bit earlier in the day. So at peak today, we had 360 something. If you can pop in there, you're chatting with a bunch of people, and you're watching my screens like you are now. The only thing different is my face. You don't see my face. I don't want to get dolled up at 5:30 in the morning. I was talking today at 5:40, and I was already analyzing charts at 6. And when I analyze charts, talk about fast fire. I rip through them. Wait, somebody just sent me a snippet. Let me see if I can show you. There's more. This is feedback from Billy. I hope this is Bill. If this is Bill, he's hilarious. Today, I bailed him out of trouble, if that's him. Thanks for all your help and hard work. Paid for my yearly subscription in 3 weeks with a small account working around PDT rules. Oh, good point. PDT rules. Okay, if you don't know what that is, if you go to trade credit spreads and you're actively trading back and forth, you get hit. You get hit with restrictions. The government wants to protect you from your own self. So they don't allow you to trade fast unless you have at least 25 grand in your account. Don't ask me why. So basically, if you take a trade, you can't close it without getting in trouble. Like, how is that helping me? Okay, so it's really bizarre. There is a loophole, and I can share it with you when you come. I don't want to share it here because it needs explanations, but you need to know about it. You need to know the details. There's a loophole. Okay, so yes, you can do iron condors even if you have PDT rule requirements. As far as the other service, the most important part of the service is my homework and my dedication to keep us informed. I just ran with you on what I think the market is doing on a big scale, correct? I just shared with you like the big picture. It is bulletproof, by the way, this concept. I keep track of the fundamentals. And right now I'm a little concerned. I wasn't before. When markets were down here, I was saying we could still make all-time highs. And then we rallied 40% or 30% or whatever. Now, today even, I got even a little bit more concerned. Longer story. I don't want to go into it now, but I am still optimistic, but extremely caution. I'm cautioned. I'm a little worried. I don't want to raise an alarm, but concerned. I'm concerned. That's the best word. I'm concerned about the next 6 months. Powell may have already broken down the economy, and I need to see Amazon's next report. Amazon is the key. It is the best gauge of consumer confidence and consumer spending. Forget the government data. It's garbage. But when Amazon reports its P&L, it cannot lie. It's legally bound to report penny accurate reports, right? Whereas the government, oh my God, they revise them a year later up to 40%. How is that a report? So Amazon grew single digits, I think 2 quarters back to back. That's the mother of all growers. Today, I got an extra spin on it that just freaked me the fudge out because one of my members reached out with a little snippet and basically saying their AWS segment grew 20-something percent, 22%. And I'm going to say, there we go, hold on. The business of AWS is worth about $500 billion. The quarter four revenue was 21.5 billion. So that's about 20% growth year over year. And so it's basically, I did the math, it's like 20% of the business. So if 20% of the business is growing 20%, what if Amazon didn't have that AWS server? It would have shrunk in sales. So consumer spending has fallen off a cliff, is what I'm saying. And if that's the case, the economy is toast, because consumer spending is 2/3 of it. That's like almost 70%. If I'm right, if this stupid correlation is right, this back of the napkin thing, goodness, God help us. That moron broke the economy. I cannot believe, I am so upset. I'm so upset with the politicians that they let that happen. This was choreographed. Their goal was to control inflation by causing devastation in the economy. Who does that? I mean, imagine yourself ruling a country, and your goal is to destroy the economy in order to control inflation, which you created. What? Who does that? I am so upset. Okay, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. That is just logically crazy. All right. Yeah, hit it harder. Let's see. So the goal of the service initially, like 10, 12 years ago with Benzinga, was for me to share how I can create income with option spreads so that I don't have to worry. I don't need to worry about where price is going. So it is easier to say that price is not going to go here than me to say price is going here. Okay, so if my upside thesis is that we're going to have a rally, we're going to be here in the next 2 months. You can buy a call, buy shares, buy whatever. You can't buy shares in the SPX. You can buy them in the SPY and wait. And if you're right, you make money. How do you make money? Only one scenario makes me money. If I'm right, I make money. How about saying, okay, I think this is going to happen, which means anything else is not going to happen. We're not going to be here. We're not going to be here. So how about I make money from both of these? So I sell credit call spreads here. I sell credit put spreads here, and I go fishing. And I don't even have to watch the market. Market does this, market does that, market this, that. As long as nothing happens, I win. That's the idea of creating income passively, without much worry. You're going to end up making the same amount of money. You can work hard for it and trying to catch every rally. You could make more money catching rallies and drops, but you need to be surgically accurate and active. What if you can't be in there? Like the gentleman that just gave me the input. He goes in, he looks at the parameters, he places the trade, he goes and does his job, takes a peek at him a couple of times. He's making about $500 a day. So this is what passive income is from using credit spreads. A lot of people are skeptical about it. I invite you to come join and you'll see it for yourself. So it does work. Otherwise, I wouldn't have 360 people coming back every day. Every day. We do one a day. They expire daily. I'll show you. Okay, so that is my goal from 10, 12 years ago, was to teach people how to do credit spreads. I don't want you to do just credit spreads. I want you to at least start dabbling in them. They make a good companion tool to however you trade right now. Also, wouldn't it be nice that if you already own shares, how can you protect them for free? I can show you how to do that. If you own shares, how can you create your own dividends? You can share, you also do yourselves too. Whoa, what is that? Nice guy. Someone kick that guy out, please. If you wanted to bet with less money, you can use spreads, not necessarily credit spreads. For example, a lot of people like to buy calls, like to buy puts. You need to moderate your bets in this environment. You don't know what's going on. You think you do, but you really don't. So all of these write-ups, I share at least about one a day. And when I do one a day, I write it up and I post it somewhere static. So I post it in the chat room in a couple of places. and then the editors of Benzinga send it out to the subscribers, and those trades end up in a log. So I'm on record, and that guy says I'm lying. Okay, here are the trades. You can look at the red versus green. Here's one that lost a little bit. You can see this is the column of profits and losses. You tell me when you see the next red one. There's one. Okay. And this is the group that is the highest skilled. This is the ultimate group. And this is the second highest skilled group. Again, this is the column. Clearly, there's money to be made using spreads. I promise you. I'll give you, it doesn't hurt my feelings, but that's just a crappy person that says something like that. Trust me, I've been doing this a long time. So the opportunity to trade based on daily write-ups, and the daily write-ups just get delivered to you. All you have to do is just take a peek. If you have a full-time job, take a peek. You don't like it, you skip it. Like I shorted BP. I'm crazy shorting a stock that strong, and I shared my opinion why. And it's finite amount of money. And you looked at it and you said, hey, that guy's crazy, I'll pass. You don't have to take it. And there's parameters. If you lose X, you're out, then you're done. So no harm done there. You have that opportunity. You also have the opportunity to get my read on the economy Sunday night. And I'll tell you my trading plan. So I had a trading plan given to all the members on Sunday night. So now they know what to do this week. They know what to expect this week. They know not to react on a day like today. And they will get an update on that next week on Sunday night. Monday night, Sunday we're closed. So what else is going on is, let's say you don't have time to do homework. I do the homework for you. Sunday morning, every Sunday morning, I do a webinar. It's about 2 hours, an hour and 45 minutes now. We're getting faster. And I review hundreds of tickers for you. These are tickers you asked for. Yes, no joke, hundreds of tickers. This is a list from 2 weeks ago. Last week, I couldn't write it up, but I did the videos anyway. It was 150 tickers. So imagine having to type all of this with links that are clickable, with my comments on each of them and trade ideas. And then I do a webinar the next day. The homework I do on Saturday. And on Sunday, I'll do the webinar with you live. And I usually have about 70 people there. Sunday morning, a lot of people are busy. And for that reason, I recorded 3 separate videos, alphabetically ordered, so you can find your tickers easily within those videos. And that happens every Sunday. So your homework is handed over to me. Believe it or not, the most I had from one guy, it was 81 tickers. I don't know how that guy can trade, but that was the deal. And he wasn't alone. The second highest one is like 50 something, and I have a couple that do 20. Luckily, they overlap other people's requests. Is this list available for subscribers? Yes, of course. All the videos are available to subscribers. Also, speaking of videos, when you subscribe, you have a library of static videos, like what's a call option, what's a put option, what's a spread, what's a credit spread, what's a cash settled index, what's an iron condor. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. So the resources are there. All you need is to bring your appetite. And who is the ideal subscriber? Somebody who knows how to trade and has been failing somewhat in doing spreads, perfect. Somebody who wants to learn spreads, perfect, because we focus on education. Every day I'm sending out lessons. I'm going to do a couple of lessons with you today. And also, if somebody has stocks and they want to transition into how can I trade better with my stocks using options, or here's something that nobody ever tells you, you can be a much better stock trader. I'm going to give you a live example from today. You can be a much better stock trader, equities, long and short, if you know options. You don't need to trade options. You need to know options to read the options chain. So here's a guy that texted me today, called me today. He's a friend of mine from a long time ago. I hear from him once in a blue moon. Today, in the middle of the live room, Ali calls. And I was like, okay, if I don't pick up now, the guy's going to hit me, and then call me from an unmarked number for me. So I answered, and he's looking to short a stock, and he's asking my opinion. So what do? I go to the options chain, and I look at the data and I told him my opinion. So I kind of told him it could work, but it's kind of risky, and hopefully he didn't because the stock's spiking. So the idea is that the options give us information comes from the fact that that's money, and that's big money. And if it's big money, they're not going to lose money. So the market makers are going to rig the game to make sure they don't lose money. So if you follow the information inside the options chain, you're going to get support and resistance. So that information is gold, and I share it every day, and we peg the price action pretty accurately. All right, so let's get into some lessons. Who's in for some learning? How about options? We'll do a lesson on options. Where is it? This is the E-Trade paper trading account. I'm not recommending the platform. It's good at teaching. It's good teaching, but it's not good. All right, so this is, first of all, what are options? Options are contracts. So everything you see here, this is called an options chain. Calendar spreads, yeah, I can do that, but how about I introduce what is a put or what is a call first? So yeah, we can do calendar spreads. In fact, we made money this week on those. Okay, so this is called an options chain. And options in general, forget what you know, bullish or bearish. They're contracts. And when it's a contract, it's got terms and conditions, right? Every contract has stipulations. So let's go through those, some of those. So this is an options chain. First term of condition is everything on this page is for the SPY. That's the S&P ETF. It trades like a stock. You can buy it and sell it. You can short it. You can go long it however you want. Okay. And the second term is I chose February 17th, which is tomorrow. This has 1 day on the clock. Okay. Everything here dies tomorrow night at the bell. It's gone. All right. So what are these? These are contracts. Another term and condition is price. This is where it is right now, 408, 407, 406, or 409, 410, 411. So everything you see here is about the SPY, dies tomorrow, and here's the price. All right, let's get into the nitty gritty. They come in two flavors. We have the puts and we have the calls. I can ask you a trick question and tell you which ones are bullish and which ones are bearish, and you would say, neither. Yes, that's right. You would say neither. They can both be bullish. They can both be bearish. What you do with them makes them bullish or bearish. Yes. So, like, for example, puts are perceived bearish, where in fact only one scenario of the put is bearish. I don't need to own any shares of any stock in order to buy or sell options. I can buy or sell anything on here, whether I own stock or not. Okay, so that's another misconception. Let's say I buy a put for 405 for tomorrow. I go out and say, I'll buying this put. If I don't own stock, I am bearish the SPY. The only way I can make money is if price falls. Why? Look, if price, which is here, falls, this $100 will be worth a lot more. It could double in a minute. It could triple in 10 minutes, but it could disappear in 20 minutes as well. Okay, so this would be a binary bet. I'm betting down tomorrow. So if you did that yesterday, you made a bundle. How much? Look, 300%. So the stock fell 1% and the puts are up 300%. Woo! But if you bet wrong, you lost almost all your money, right? So puts, if you want the explanation of puts, I'll give you the definition. Puts allow you the right, but not the obligation to sell a stock. So if I owned 100 shares of this thing and I buy this, it means I bought the right to sell my shares at 405 by tomorrow. So let's say the stock falls to 400. I can call up my broker and say, sell my shares at 405. They will do that. So I will break even. You know, I have to make up that. So I'm winning. I'm missing out on losses from here to here. It's basically insurance on my stock if I own shares. Okay, so that's the definition of a put. It allows me the right, but not the obligation to sell my shares at a given price of my choosing. And then if I choose a lower price, it's cheaper because it's less likely to happen. All right, so what is a call? The call is me locking my price. So it gives me the right, but not the obligation to buy shares at a certain price. So if I had paid this at the bell today, I would have locked my price for 409 for tomorrow. Let's say I expected tomorrow to go to 414. I locked my price at 409 and I paid $160 for it, which means I break even at 410.60. And everything above that, I will participate in profits. Okay. So that's what it means to be long a call, long a put, right? So how is that not bearish? Well, let's say this is Apple. I'm going to switch. I always use Apple because it's the king of stocks. Not that I like it. I actually don't like it. Okay. So let's say I own 100 shares of Apple and I paid $80 for them. And I'm okay losing from here to here, but I do not want to lose more than, I don't want to hold my shares past 130. And I'm worried about the next couple of months. So what do? I go out and say, hey, I need someone to insure my 100 shares of Apple, and I'm willing to pay $110, $108 for it. And then what happens is I spend $100 and somebody buys this from me. Okay, so I'm the buyer, they're the seller. So if I'm the buyer, I'm buying myself insurance. So what happens? I buy it, I spend 100, it shows up as an asset on my trading account. And let's say Apple crashes to 110 in the next, 2 months. And so what happens? I can call up my broker and say, sell my shares at 130. But the price is at 110. Yeah, but I paid $100 for somebody to buy my shares at 130. Like, who would do that? I would do that. I would love to own Apple at 130. So we're both bullish. The person buying this put is buying insurance. If they hated Apple, if they were bearish Apple, they would sell it. You don't pay insurance on your car if you hated it, right? You insure your car because you want to keep it, because you like it. And the person that sells me that put wants my shares. They also like it, but they would like to buy it cheaper. So we're both bullish Apple. That's why it's not a bearish scenario. And usually the seller is smarter than the buyer. For example, I do homework. I do the pluses and minuses of owning Apple. And then I go do the homework to see what level is likely to be good support. And then I go through and see what level is likely for the market makers to defend. And that would be the 130. So I would confidently sell you that put. What is the worst case scenario for me? Is I wake up one day, Apple's at 125, and I'm forced to buy the shares at 130. I own shares, and now I can start losing money after 129. So I'd be down $4 a share at 125. And if I don't sell my shares and it recovers and I sell them for profits, I made money. So that's the worst case scenario. So this is selling a put. So they're both bullish Apple at different levels. Okay. All right. So somebody said credit spreads. So what is a credit spread? It's basically selling somebody a lottery ticket. Like if I think Apple is not going to go to 125, I will go to 125 and sell a put spread, or 130 or 135. Let's say I don't think it's going to go below 135. I would sell this. This is called a credit put spread. I would collect $54 for it. Okay, so I'm risking some money on the table, but the odds of it being down here are about 15%. All right, so how can I even hedge my bet even more? You've heard me mention the term iron condor. So let's get this straight. I'm selling a put. I'm buying a put lower. Ends up in a credit. Money goes into my account. Same as selling the put. I don't spend anything. I'm the seller. I'm the market maker. I sell this lottery ticket for somebody that thinks Apple's going to collapse to 130 or lower. It could. That's the calculated risk. My odds are 85%. His or her odds are 15%. That is not my opinion. That's fact from the table. Okay. Now, how can I even improve my odds? By making the opposite bet on the other side. Ooh. Okay. So here's the opposite side, opposite bet on the side. So I'm selling a call and I'm buying a call above it. I'm collecting more credit. Suddenly, now my credit is almost $1. I'm going to round for easy math. It is $1. So the worst case scenario is I can lose $4. The odds of me losing on this side are 15%, the odds for me losing on this side is 15%. So the odds are not 30% because I can't lose on both sides together. It's either this guy or that guy. And the risk up here is $5 maximum. The risk down here is $5 maximum, but I collected from both and I can't lose on both. I lose on either this guy or that guy. I'm either wrong on the short side or wrong on the long side. How do I win? If Apple stays between 135 and 170, I win. That's it. What if Apple falls here and bounces and closes here? I win. The only scenario that blows me out is this one, and I don't do anything to defend it, or that one, and I don't do anything to defend it. So this is called an iron condor. Why? I created a wingspan where I have risk here, and my profit area is wide in between them. Okay, that's an iron condor. A couple of variations of that make it interesting, like an iron butterfly. That's pretty cool. So this is an iron condor.
Right, that's right, and that's something that you do every day there, Nick, right?
I do that every day, but not on Apple because Apple only expires once a week. You can do that once a week on Apple. On the SPX, SPY, XSP, QQQ, I think QQQ has a daily as well. 16, yeah. So the Qs, IWM is close to a daily, but not quite. For example, today I did bets on here that worked out to maximum gains. We sold the credit put spread here. We sold the credit call spread way above here. 2 sets at 2 different times a day. Both worked out. We sold a $15 wide iron butterfly that collected $1,200, just under. And I think it was under 10 at one point, and it hung out at under 10. And I yelled, close it, close it, close it, close it. Hopefully everybody close it. Because it didn't work out in the end. But the goal, every time I say the iron butterfly goal is not to make the maximum amount, but to make money, period. Okay. So the iron butterflies and the iron condors, so that's 3 trade setups today. For those who cannot chase, buy here, sell here, buy here, sell here, sell
people
here, buy
with
here.
like full-time jobs. So listen, we've gotten a lot of questions here, Nick, about the room. We're just going to go over them really quick.
Go ahead.
And then we're going to cover some more material, folks. We're pretty much like not even halfway there, right? But thanks a lot for the questions. Let's see. Does Nick Shaheen go over member trade ideas? Yes, that happens every day. You guys even submit the tickers on the sessions for Sundays that he does. Are the sessions on Sundays recorded? Yes, Martin, they're recorded and they're posted in the chat room. Nick will post them in 3 separate videos. So good question there. What is the live room schedule? So the blue chat room is open 24/7. The live session where Nick is sharing his screen, webinar style like this, is Monday to Friday from 8 to 5 p.m. Eastern. That's every day, Monday to Friday, right? That was really a good question there, Jason. Does Nick provide education? Pretty much every trade that Nick does, he does provide education. And you can also ask him. You have on-demand access to Nick for trading feedback, mentorship, guidance, questions, education, trade-wise, anything pretty much about options. Good one there. Are there notifications? The blue chat room does have push notifications, so you will get that access whenever it starts. So just to kind of sum it up for all you folks here, right? With this today, just for today only, I'm gonna say it now because some people do have to go. What's up, MKW? But basically, just for today, folks, we are doing this, something we don't do pretty often. Basically, for the people that do sign up here with Nick, we're going to give them full access, 1 year free included to Benzinga Pro. It's the proprietary research platform here that we have at Benzinga. I will be going over the details later in the session. I just wanted to mention that's part of it. 20 email trade alerts per month, the live room with Nick, and the Sunday session that you're going to have with Nick, plus private coaching, private mentoring, all of that stuff, $19.97 1 year. And we'll be putting the link in the chat, but this is only available if you call or email because we have to manually adjust it. It's only for the people that sign up before midnight. So I'll post the link in the chat, folks.
So I saw somebody talk about Tesla options. Check this out, 235,000 transactions here. I wonder what we're going to end up with tomorrow here. That should be interesting. So what I'll do with this guy tomorrow, I hope somebody reminds me. If any of the members in here, remind me tomorrow in the live room to see if we can do an iron butterfly on Tesla. I'm in your chat room every day, and I'm familiar with trading 1 to 2 legs at a time, but my broker only allows me to trade 1 leg per trade. And they trade iron condor doing 4 separate trades. I would, Mike, I would get another broker. Don't try to do 1 leg at a time. So first of all, they charge you more fees. Just get a different broker. No, you don't need to. I'm not selling them naked, Oliver. This is a spread. The risk is contained. Let me explain. Lesson time. Pull up a chair. Good question, though. So here's the deal. Here's what Oliver's saying. So this is me selling the straddle. The straddle is the call and the put at the same time. Put and the call for Tesla for tomorrow. If I sell this and do nothing but, I'm opening unlimited risk on the upside and 100% risk on the downside. I would collect $730 to do this trade, and that means that I'm on the hook. Yes, got you. I do this in the chat room as a lesson every day. So if I sell the call and the put, I'm on the hook. I'm on the hook to buy shares at 202. If somebody calls on me, I'm short the shares at 202 if somebody calls on me. So that's unlimited risk on the call side. No. And that's 100% risk on the downside. I'm on the hook from 202 until it stops falling. So how can you modify this? You turn it into an iron butterfly. And the iron butterfly basically says, yeah, you can sell these, but you got to protect yourself. So this iron butterfly is too tight for my taste. Let's do a $10 one. So what happens is I sell these two like I just said, but I protect myself by buying a put here and a call here. So the worst case scenario, if Tesla goes to zero, I stop losing right here. Basically, I'm putting a limit to the maximum pain I'm willing to take. And if it takes off like a rocket, which it often does, I stop my pain at 212.5. Okay. So what is involved with this? I end up collecting almost $600. So I'm collecting $600 to make $500. So it's basically a coin flip odds with better than coin flip payout with better than coin flip odds. So if I go here, it'll say credit. I'm collecting this much. So how much can I lose? I can lose the difference between $10 and that amount. So 400 and whatever after fees and all of that. So this is an iron butterfly. So what do I need to win? I need price to stay inside the range, as close to this as possible. If tomorrow Tesla closes at this number right here, I win $575 per contract. That's not the goal. The goal is to be almost right, somewhere in the middle of the day. This gets to be cheaper, 400, 350. And then what do? I'll buy it back. I collected for $575. At any point tomorrow, it's cheaper than $575. I close my bet by buying it back for partial. I leave money on the table all the time because you guarantee yourself a win. That's the goal of an iron butterfly. And it's called an iron butterfly. If you think about it, it's actually an iron condor where the sold legs are on the same level. Look, this is an iron condor. The eye of the needle for the iron condor is big. This is an iron butterfly. They're both the same. Okay, so here's another thing. Somebody's mentioning unusual options activity, right? Guess what? Don't mess around with them unless you're getting them from the source, okay? And this guy has a source. Hold on. Something's in the way. All right. So this is Benzinga Pro platform. You guys don't know it. You should get to know it. Kick-ass platform. It does so much, I can't even tell what it does. I can't use it a lot. I have access to it. I use it religiously for news. For example, for news, like somebody asked me about a firm. I'll tell you how I traded a firm for the group, and I'll give you my opinion on it. Let's say, who reported this afternoon? DraftKings, right? Actually, first of all, let me delete the firm there. DKNG, boom. And you can actually say earnings, and then you combine both of these. Okay, so I'm going to delete earnings, and because here we go. And if you need to know what they did, you got the skinny. Best news search engine I've ever seen in my life. That is a bar none statement. Okay, let's say you don't know what you want. You go in here, you have the kitchen sink, and you click on it, it gives you everything they have. Unusual options activity, you go in here, and you can set up your parameters. And I would not touch unusual options activities unless you're getting them from a source. If you're seeing it on TV, you're not going to make money. If you're finding it yourself here, you're going to have the opportunity to make money. And you can filter this 6 ways to Sundays. Options activity, I believe you can filter it against watch list of yours. Like you can put a filter and you say, show me only this and only that, like watch list. So for example, I don't want to mess with stocks that are not of a certain size. So I don't want to know anything about them. I don't want them to muck up the stream. Another one, I don't want to mess with stocks that don't have options. So I would look for optionable. So what I do is I have a list. It's called a watch list. It's like 200 tickers. Anything that's not that 200 tickers, I don't want to know about. And you can ping it against this. I'm pretty sure you can set it up fairly easy yourself. And then you can sub-filter everything based on whatever you want. If you're using options activity like this, I'm okay with. If you're reading it from somebody else, I don't think you're going to make money. They used to have a kitchen sink one. Is it gone? Day trading, momentum, swing trading. Oh, I don't see it. They changed these a little bit.
Right. If you go to the movers tool,
yeah,
at the top, basically that's like a pre-market and an aftermarket scanner. You can look at all the filters that you can put out.
Yes, this is where I would usually go. I don't want to mess with tiny companies. You know, those even the 10 billion and more. Now you're talking stocks I can trade. I recognize all of these stocks. Okay, now I can trade these. All right. So, and then if you want volume, if you don't want low volume, you just take out the low volume, all the crappy stock. Float. Yeah, don't mess with too smalls. Price, I don't want to mess with anything with less than $10. Now you have a respectable list. Ooh, this one popped. This one came up in the live room today. Roblox yesterday. I lost some money on KO today myself. Thanks, Ryan. Just kidding. Ryan, by the way, this week in the live room says, I'm buying a lotto on a stock that collapsed. I can't remember. So I said, folks, this guy's got a good history at guessing. And it's a 7-cent bet. It was $2.20 the next day. One contract times 100 times $200 was the win with $7, basically. That was an amazing, amazing win for the team. So the next day, it didn't do so well for me for Coke, but he did well today for the rest. Okay, so
quick question here, Nick. So, for example, let's just give the people a taste of what it would be to be in the chat room. So, as an example, let's say I have calls on the SQQQ for tomorrow, right? What would you typically do when somebody comes at you with a trade? Hey, Nick, what do you think about this?
Okay, so this week I bought longs calls in XSP, so the S&P. I bought them 2 days ago. They cost me $3.40. So 2 days ago, I said I'm selling calls against. They expire 7 days from now. I said I'm selling calls against them. So I sold and collected 50 cents. It's like a diagonal. Somebody's asking. We'll do that. Let me show it, actually. This will be another lesson. So the ticker is XSP. If you're not familiar with it, you should start getting familiar with it. I'm going to give you a couple caveats. You've heard of the SPX, right? This is a baby XSP. Why is it important? Why not the SPY? This, folks, is this is cash settled, which means you don't get assigned. With the SPY trades like a stock. You will get assigned. Okay. So this is the contract I bought was this one right there. So I was making money today until the last hour. What I did is I bought it. And it cost me $340 a couple of days ago. But a couple of days ago, the minute I bought it, I sold calls against it. Let me shrink this to 8. Smaller. 6. Okay. Where are we? 412. I'm trying to put it into view. There we go. So I sold calls against it immediately, which means what? I added an option trade and it was 414. Okay. I sold this one, but for yesterday, for 2 days ago when I bought it. So I did this. What does that mean? I paid 340 and I collected 50. That 50 died in my favor. That day we didn't exceed the level. It died in my favor. So I pocketed $50. So suddenly the 340 is now $50 cheaper. Yesterday I did the same thing. I pocketed $30. So now I have $80 in my pocket. The 340 now is $80 cheaper. Today I collected 40. So now it became $1.20 cheaper. So my price is actually 340 minus $1.20. And I still have 7 days on the clock. So I'm not getting killed. I had a lot of greens today. I sold more for tomorrow. So if tomorrow ends below where I'm at, I will make more, and I would still be long for 6 days after that. So that was my trade. And we just had a mini lesson on what is a calendar. This is called the calendar. When you buy something out in time, and then you sell something shorter in time against it. So I bought this one. This one has 7 days on the clock. I sold one that died today. So in my favor, okay? And that is called a calendar. Why? Because I'm jumping calendars. This one is 7 days. This one is 7 days. This one is today. It's dead. So the one I sold for tomorrow might die tomorrow. And there's a variation to this. It's called a calendar. A diagonal. This is a calendar. The variation would be a diagonal. The diagonal would be if I buy the 414, I don't sell the 414, I sell the 415 or 416 or 413. That would be a diagonal because it literally goes diagonally on the chart. So call calendar, call diagonal. The same thing works on the put side. Those are great things to do on earnings. Let me show you why. Who reported? DraftKings? DraftKings reported this afternoon. It's rallying 5%. Check this out. You're going to learn about implied volatility and how you can outsmart the average bear out there. Mike, I appreciate you. Thanks for the comment. That's super nice. Okay. So this contract here expires tomorrow for DraftKings. They announce earnings tonight. They already announced earnings tonight. So what do you notice on this chain that is different between this contract and that contract? I'll give you a second to see if you can pick it. Something drastically different. Pick a column and see what's drastically different. The implied volatility. Yeah, you don't see that often. Look at that. So there's somebody that knows options. They're both green. That doesn't happen often. You know why that is? Because of this.
Hey, Nick, really quick, big shout out here to Michael, our most recent family member here, just joined with us live. Let's go.
Look, this is Bullery knows what she is talking about. So the implied volatility, this is like the mini VIX for that particular date for that particular stock. So the implied volatility is how nervous are the market maker for that options chain. Why? Because of the earnings, right? So, but here's the problem. People don't see this and they go out and buy calls and puts. Tomorrow at the bell, this is going to get slashed by how much? Probably 40%. So the call buyers and the put buyers are going to lose 30 to 40% of their value just from the bell ringing. That's it, because the mystery is gone. The headline is gone. The implied volatility crash, they call it the IV crush, is going to demolish them. How could they have known that? Well, I'm showing you one for today and one for a month out. A month out, it's like 78%. So more than 3 times the usual. So you bought a pair of shoes just because you want to handle it this week, you paid 3 times as much. Why would you do that? So how do you trade this? You can make money off of it like crazy by doing what? By doing a calendar or a diagonal. Let's work the numbers. You're going to be floored, okay? So let's say you wanted to trade this on the upside today, and you went out and you came into the room and say, I want to buy some calls. Nick would have said, okay, that's fine. That's a guess. It could go up, it could go down. How about you buy a call diagonal? So I would say, what call do you want to buy? I want to buy the 17.5 or $20 call. So I would have said, go to $19 call. I would have said, go to March 10th, 22 days out. Go buy the $19 call, 22 days out. So they would go buy that call. It costs $100 almost, 100. And then do me a favor and consider, I won't force them to do it because that's their prerogative, and sell the $19 call for this week. Or be even better, $19.50. Or even better yet, does that give me that? Okay, the $20. So why would he want to do that, or she? Because they're spending $100, they're collecting $40. So now their expense is 60 cents, so $60. They almost cut their expenses by 40%, air math. So why would they do that? Because tomorrow, this number is going to get demolished. I know it's spiking now. It's up $1 almost. So it's going to be $18.50 tomorrow. This is still 20. This is going to be cheaper at the open. Just from the bell ringing, this is going to be cheaper. And this dies 3 times faster than this one. So even if the stock doesn't rally, this is going to lose value 3 times faster than this one. This one has 22 days on the clock. And it's not overpriced already. So just from this, you're going to win tomorrow if they did this. And this is called a diagonal. If they did this, it's called a calendar. Their expense is 33 cents, but this gets complicated if it spikes through both. You need to be really quick and nimble. So this would be a diagonal. This would be a diagonal. This would be a diagonal. This would be a calendar. This would be a diagonal. Ill-advised, but definitely doable. I call this a Bartsky. Somebody called Bart in our group does those all the time. Okay, so this is a lesson about diagonals live, a lesson about implied volatility, what not to buy. Don't ever buy an implied volatility that's green on both sides into the earnings, because you're going to end up overspending.
Hey, Steve Delaney on YouTube says, Trucker Steve here, Nick, saying hello.
Hey, Trucker Steve, I saw him logged on before 5 my time. I swear to God, it was him. There was like 14 people.
Right. It's funny how there's people from all over the world, pretty much. Like there's from every single part, right? From different walks of life. That's pretty interesting.
The other day I downloaded the list of countries or cities. I even have, I think today or yesterday, I had Bavaria. No, Munich. I don't know how to say it in German. So we're all over the place. It's fun.
So Nick, yeah, can you look at SQQQ?
Okay, yeah, I can. But let me show you that this is not a fluke. There's another one that reported tonight. DoorDash. Okay, so the implied volatility is 260. If you go out to March to get an idea of what it is, usually 70. Same thing. Those who bought calls or puts are going to be losing 1/3 of their investment just from the sheer bell ringing tomorrow. The implied volatility is going to normalize tomorrow. Not immediately, but immediately drop a lot and then normalize towards 100% or so. So SQQQ, you want me to look at the chart? Yeah, it's not my favorite ticker, so I'm going to hurt your feelings. I know I am. Don't take it personally. Okay. So this is a chart that shorts the S&P, the Qs, 3 times over. It's the ultra short QQQ. You're saying it's hitting support, right? So I'm going to say they're not. They're not. So check it out. I don't trade a stock that looks like this over time. All right. This is a good trader overnight, over 2 days. I would not use options. I most definitely would not use spreads. I would use the asset itself. I would buy it and sell it. It's manipulated. It does not track the QQQ right. And they can explain it. The Wall Street people will explain it to you. Let me explain it to you backwards. Listen. Okay, then riddle me this if it tracks it exactly. This is the QQQ, right? This is the opposite of the SQQQ, the TQQQ. This one tracks the QQQ. If it tracks it 1-to-1, explain to me this. This is the pandemic start, and the TQs are below the pandemic start, right? If it's tracking its mother, why is its mother above the pandemic start? Before you answer, I know why, but it's bullshit that it's not at the same level as the pandemic, which means there's extra Wall Street mojo that they sprinkle on top that I don't want to play with, okay? The SQQQ is not perfectly trading with the QQQQ, because if it did, it would look like it, and it doesn't. So it is a good trader. If you want to trade it overnight, inside of a week, absolutely. You will make money fast and lose money fast. It is not my thing because I do not trust Wall Street.
Right. I know there's several people in the chat room that do trade actively also, because we do have the passive trades, the active trades. So there's different types of folks there that you help out pretty much.
Absolutely. A lot of people love the TQs, and a lot of people that love the SQs, and they don't entice me at all. I'm going to tell you why you should never do spreads on it, especially credit spreads. I traded one of these two. I might have traded a TQQQ, and I sold a put spread or a call spread. It was just a $1 wide spread. So the maximum I could have lost was $700, right? And the trade was winning. It was totally winning. And one day, the quote on it was 3.2. It was mathematically impossible for it to be that, but that's the nature of Wall Street. The quote, I wasn't going to lose money. It was showing me false numbers. Well, guess what? Instead of requiring $700 worth of margin, that $1 trade was requiring $3,200 worth of margin. So suddenly, if somebody has a $5,000 account, their account is locked. Most of it is tied up in this fake number. And you would have to call your broker and mess around with that. So don't do spreads in this thing. Either do shares or straight up calls and puts at the money, and don't hold them. They don't hold value very well. They accelerate really fast, and they're leveraged. And if you trust the company that issues these guys, fine. But don't do spreads in them. They're hard to scalp, and the quotes are horrific. And I don't know about the fills recently. I have not traded them. If the quotes are bad, usually the fills are bad. Usually, not always. So if you like the speed, why don't you do 3 times the Qs? You know, instead of buying one call, buy 3 of them. I don't know. This is a more honest trader. The accelerated ones I try to avoid. All right. What questions do we have?
All right. And so we've gone over the iron condors, different types of trades you've made in the room. Let's pick out a trade.
Affirm. Sorry. Somebody asked about Affirm. Let me tackle it because it shows how you can trade without sweating. Affirm and Tesla. I did last time Tesla. So if you weren't here, somebody in the live room came in and said, hey, Nick, Tesla, first of all, I warned that Tesla can be under 140 and double digits weeks before it actually happened. I'm on record. I'm not making stuff up. And then when it actually happened, when it fell below 120, somebody jumped into my room and said, a nice guy, hey, Nick, I'm looking to buy May Tesla 60 puts. I immediately said, I will sell you that put. And in fact, I went out live and I sold puts for May at 60 and March at 60, made money out of thin air, made hundreds of dollars per contract. So if I did 10, thousands of dollars. So a firm fell apart on earnings. I immediately came out and I said, I'm going to catch the knife in a firm, and sold puts for the group in a firm. And I'm pretty sure they're making money. So I collected $60 per contract, and I would have broken even on a firm at 9.9. So I sold the $10.50 put. I forgot the expiration date. Let's go. I'm pretty sure it was this one. I'll go look it up in the write-up. Wait, it's right here somewhere. There it is. March 10th, 1050 put. Correct. March 10th, 1050 put. This one. And I collected between 55 and 60 cents. It's now at 50% of maximum gains. I didn't even look at it twice. I swear to you. They said, what are you crazy selling naked puts? I was like, my break even in a firm is below $10. I'll do it all day, every day. And it expires in 22 days. That means the worst case scenario, I can wake up one day owning 100 shares that I can break even if I sell them under $10. Let's look at the chart. I can sell them for break even down here. That's a risk I'm willing to take. It is a risk, but it's like me buying shares. We say, I don't like options, I'd rather buy shares. Okay, let's say you buy shares here. You and me. I go sell the put. Nothing leaves my account. I collect hundreds of dollars, and you buy shares. You buy shares here. I sell puts here. I collect money. You pay money. This happens. You're down from here to here. How much is that? You're down 26% on your money. What am I down? Nothing. I haven't even started losing money. The trade is losing money. That sold put is showing hundreds of percent loss. I don't do anything. Don't touch it. Let them give you shares. You wake up one day, right here, the stock is $10. You wake up, you own shares. This person is down 26%. What are you down? Nothing. Your break even is below 10. So you wake up, you own shares, you sell the shares, you broke even, made a little money. They're down 26%. You tell me that buying shares is more safer than selling options. If you do it smartly, in stocks you don't mind owning and not willy-nilly. I didn't sell the puts here. I didn't sell them here. I didn't sell them here. I did sell them here on this drop. This was about 50% eyeball between, like, this is too much, this is too much. Somewhere in the middle lies the truth. I said, I'll take a risk. So that's the deal. That's how I like to make money, off of people's fear. In Tesla, I sold the $60 put in Tesla, $60 put. Let me tell you, let me show you what that looks like. Somebody paid me $3.50, $350, not too long ago. When Tesla was here, somebody paid me here $350 to buy their shares at 60, which means I would have broken even at 56.50. In panic. Oh my God, I need to buy puts. They sold them to me. I said, you got it. Here's your puts. Sold. $350 per contract for May. And then I did another one for March. They paid me $220 because it has less time on the clock. Sold. And what happened? Nothing. They're now pennies. I can buy them back for pennies, and the risk is off. They panicked. I was there to help them unpanic and feel good about themselves. Sold. So this is the style of trading I like. Easy money, lazy trading, passive income. Meanwhile, you could trade everything else. When you see an opportunity, great stock gets shellacked. Google was in that position not too long ago, getting sold because Microsoft is doing well on AI and Google's AI went wacky or something. What?
Right. So Nick, we asked the folks here if they have an open options trade. About 61% of people have an options trade. So maybe we can go over some
Anybody
of their
need help? Yeah.
Yeah.
Go.
All right, guys. So when you
I have the call on ET option strike 14, March 31st. Are you asking me something about it, or are you just flaunting your positions?
so just post the exact contract. If it's a call,
He
put
did.
spread.
He did.
all that stuff.
March 31st, price 14. March 31st. You own the 10-cent call right there on AMC. Yes, avoid. I'll check AMC in a second. Okay. How much did you pay per contract, Pat? By the way, this happens every day, all day. Ichimoku Cloud helpful? Yes, it is. Learn Ichimoku. I'll tell you why in a second. Oh, okay. So you're getting beat up. All right. So I'm going to give you a lesson, Patrick, and that goes for everybody else. Take out a piece of paper and write down the following comment. You ready? You should never, ever, ever in your entire life take another trade without a stop loss. You lost 40 cents out of a base of 50, and you didn't stop yourself out. So to be successful in investing and to be successful in trading, whichever one you do, maybe a blend of both, you need to have an exit strategy. It's one thing to know what risk to take. It's the other thing to let yourself go to where it's dwindled to nothing. Yes. So listen, Patrick, can I ask you something else about it? And oh, I'm waiting for the answer. Was it an unusual options activity that got you in it, or did you hear it somewhere? And I'm asking for a specific reason. Please say yes. What's the answer? Why did you take the trade? Come on. It's so good to share. I appreciate you. Please say why. The answer is yes. Listen, folks. This is a lesson on how you need to. Patrick, thank you so much. You're a hero. You're my hero today. Send Patrick a hat, whatever you got freebies, please. Okay, check it out.
I'll send you the hat, Patrick. Okay,
this is the one that Patrick bought. Okay, that's today. 26,000 transactions. You're Lebanese and Irish? Ahlan ma'alim, ana Lebanese. 26,000 shares. Not shares, 26,000 transactions. We don't know how many it'll end up tomorrow. These are buy sells. They could be the same ones going back and forth, but they got people into it. They got people into it. So, and then you got bit. That's fine. So you should exit based on the pain tolerance that you're allowed. So when you take risk, open a trade, you need to, one, that's another to do for everyone. Never, ever, ever, never, ever for the entire rest of your life, take a trade without a reason, the why. Okay, and it's not. It has to be concrete. In Patrick's defense, he had a why. He was told to do it by somebody. Okay, once you take the trade, you have to know before you take the trade, you have a reason. You have to establish your risk, and the risk is, first of all, how much money am I going to lose? That's the maximum for him. It was an X amount of money, 5 times 5, and times 100. That was his maximum risk. And then more importantly, you need to assign yourself odds of success. And Patrick, I'm going to help you for next time. So how do you manage this? Well, if you're buying stocks and selling stocks, this is arbitrary. You put it in your head. I think I have a 20% tool. Okay. So what do I do in options? In options, it's great. I go here. What's my delta? That's the column called delta. The delta is 0.19. I have about an 18 to 19 to 20% chance of success. So you still have a 20% chance, and you still have time on the clock. You might still be bailed out if, two, you don't hit your pain tolerance. How much pain am I going to take? And how much profits am I going to want? So exit strategy. Exit if things are bad, exit if things are good. You need a strategy for both of these. So let's recap the to-dos. Number one, never take a trade without a reason. Patrick had a reason. It was recommended by a service. Number two, how much money do I want to risk? And then what are my odds of success? I manage this number. If my odds of success drop below 20 for me, I'm out. Or if my exit strategy that I put in place forces me to get out first because of pain or gains. Okay. This has to be done 100% of the time. You cannot skip this when you're doing options. You shouldn't skip this when you're doing everything else. If you're trading stocks, and I said you need to learn options, let's say somebody says, my brother trades and he doesn't use options. He buys stocks, Tesla, Apple, things like that. So if he says, I'm thinking I'm going to buy Apple because I think in the next 6 months is going to be at 180, I'll tell you exactly what the market makers think of that. And I'll go to the month that he said 6 months later, and I'll go to the delta and I'll tell him the exact number, percentage of his idea. And that puts a tangible thing. Oh, how do you know that? Well, that's what the professionals that rig the market are telling me, because that's what the delta says. Okay. So Patrick still has a chance. It's a 20% chance that he can recover some money and maybe make a profit. For me, if this translates tomorrow in like 10,000, 15,000 contracts on open interest tomorrow, this number was based on the open today. This is what happened today. This number here is what happened today. Tomorrow, this goes to zero, and this shows us the end result. How many actual calls are going to be here? If it's a giant number, cut your losses as soon as you get a rally, okay? When it's a giant number, think about it. Market makers don't want to pay out all the call buyers, so they're going to stop the price from going through it. So that's the goal of them. By the way, the market is out to screw everybody. I don't know if you know that. So they don't pay. It's like a casino. They're in the business of letting a few people win to invite all the other losers in. So don't be all the other losers. Be the ones that play like a market maker. The Greeks are not silly. They're a tangible number. It tells you a mathematical representation, a guide that you don't have otherwise. Otherwise, you're just pulling numbers out of your hat. It's not that complicated. When I teach options, I don't even speak any Greek. I don't say the word theta. It's freaking time, people. It's not theta, it's time. And delta is odds. It's plain simple English. They'd like to put a spin on it to confuse the fudge out of you. Trust me when I tell you. All right, so the education. How much education did you just get? I just gave you one thing that you should never, ever do that you should never, ever do ever for the rest of your life. If you put it on a piece of paper, that's education that's going to pay you whether you join me or not. We just talked about lessons on iron condor, what's a put, what's a call, lessons on calendars. We do this all day. Iron butterflies, I explain it at least once a day. What else? Things like that. Opportunity. How do I manage? Let's say you have a trade. Let's say Patrick was a member. He comes in. Lockheed Martin. I recommended a trade, an iron condor and Lockheed Martin. I'm not ashamed to say it. And the trade worked well until war talk with freaking balloons and all of that. Lockheed Martin spiked. The trade expires tomorrow. And the credit put spread side won. I forgot where it was, way down there. The credit call spread side was the following. I had two people stuck in it, even though I sent out a note the other day saying, close it, leave money on the table because I don't like this talk, right? So this was in trouble. Yesterday, this was like 250. Today, it went down to 77. So the trade, 2 days ago, two people said, I'm still stuck in it. I know you said close it. I didn't. I said, they said, what would you do? I said, I would wait one more day. And they waited. And today at the open, this collapse happened. And I said, cut it loose. And I screamed at them, cut it. And then later they said, okay, I'll cut it. So I helped them manage a risk that could have cost them a lot of money live. And hopefully they were honest, because the trade is going to win. It looks like if we open tomorrow and it doesn't rally much, the trade wins maximum gains. So he could have $700 still that he's leaving on the table. I have no issues leaving it on the table. If you watch the technicals on the chart and see traders are moving. Okay, so I do trades based on delta purely. Those are the iron condors from the morning. Later in the day, I read the options chain, set trades based on market maker money, and those are foolproof. And then I track charts all day. So any which angle you want, we've got it locked up. Odds of success, delta, money, the options, and charts. We don't have any holes. All right. Speaking of charts, somebody's asking me about Ichimoku. So I'm a big fan of charts. I'm very strong in charts. I learned it myself, and nobody taught me. I'm an engineer, by the way. And I'm an electrical engineer. I have nothing to do with Wall Street. I have an MBA in finance, and I've been a businessman all my entire life. And my primary thing on the charts, I don't need any tools except my eyes. I just look left and ask yourself, if you don't know anything about charts, what happened the last time the stock was here? Just look left. Like if you bought calls in Tesla here, you have no idea on how to read a chart. Okay. This was a massive neckline that caused this drop, which caused me to raise the alert when Tesla was losing 215. I said, if Tesla doesn't come back to 230, 235, it's going to 2 digits. What, you moron? Yes, I put it in writing and nobody believed it. So this was my target, and this was the official target of the Head and Shoulders. It came to my target and then some. All right. And now I think it should fall back below 160 one more time. I don't need it to, but I would not be surprised. Tesla needs to recover. So I'm telling you, levels are primary. Levels, levels, levels. Now, and then I added tools, moving averages. You cannot trade without moving averages. Trade, not invest, trade. You have to know who's controlling the price action, foolproof strategy on that one. So somebody asked me about Ichimoku. So everything I've learned about the charts, all of them, all the methods, waves and all of that, wolf wave, all kinds of BS. If I were to start over and tell somebody, what should you learn? You should learn Ichimoku, because Ichimoku encompasses all of them. And I know it's busy, but once you understand each option, each component, you won't need moving averages. You won't need EMAs, no WMAs. You don't VWAPs. You don't need anything. It's got everything in there. And it's busy, but you can change it up to be less busy. And once you see it, like I use Ichimoku to tell me when to close my bets, to tell me who's in control of the action. This cloud thing is full of information, full of information. So if you want to study something, you should study Ichimoku, and don't use one guy. I haven't seen one guy that's right on everything. Every guy I've seen has a gem here and there. So do your homework, read many guys, watch many YouTubes from different people. Some are junk, some are good, some junk, some good. So don't get married to one of them. So I don't use it all the time, but if you study it and understand it, then you know everything else, most everything else. You understand moving averages, you understand rhythm, you understand who's in control of the action, you understand spans. I think it's pretty, it's worth your time. Bollinger Bands are good. I use them, but only when I'm actively trading something. Like if I have a setup, I can show you. Load layout. This guy. This guy is my battle zone. If I'm trading something fast, I've got a chart for 15 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute, and 5 minutes. And that's where I have Bollinger Bands. So during the day, they tell me if the 15-second is coiled or the 30-second is coiled. Today, these two were wide open, and these two were curling pinpoint tight. So I said, something is happening, drum roll, and whatever is going to happen is going to have some extended long move. and then unfortunately it was to the downside. So it helps you control the price action, or at least know when something is going to happen, even though you don't know which way it's going to go, but you can use other tools for that. So you should have charts. So Heiken Ashi, bellissimo, beautiful Heiken Ashi. I'm a big fan, Heiken Ashi. If you don't know what that is, you should expand your knowledge zone. So don't use just regular candles. Go to this guy right here. This guy shows you no noise. Everything starts in the middle. So if you see a tails on a candle, it's a true doji. Like that is definitely indecision. If you don't see tails, that is a trend. You don't touch it. Like today on the downside, no tails. Don't try to catch it. It's not going to stop. One tail. Oh, no, never mind. No tails. This was a shellacking trend like you wouldn't believe. Harmonics we use, but we know how not to use them, and this would not have been an entry I would have said to take. We use harmonics to short the market today at least a couple of times, if I can remember correctly. You like that? Shellacking? Yeah. So my next thing is I want to see what Renko is all about. I haven't tried them. So I'm always expanding my knowledge base. But on my charts is simple. Everything on there is hand-drawn for the benefit of the members. That's it. Yesterday, speaking of iron condors, speaking of speed, yesterday, Esther came into the room. Hey, Nick, do you have an iron condor for tomorrow? Basically, she can't trade fast. Sure, I shared one. Guess what? 100% win today. That paid $90 per contract. So if I did one contract, I made $90. Today, middle of the day, she goes, Esther comes in. Hey, Nick, do you have an iron condor for tomorrow? I was like, I do, but you really want it? I shared it. Let's see if it plays out. Tomorrow we'll know if it plays out. Why do we do it overnight? I don't like to do it overnight because you have your blind side is the headlines, and tomorrow is what? It is a monthly options expiration. I don't know if you knew it. The SPX has two contracts that expire tomorrow. One settles in the morning, one settles at night. The one that settles in the morning, they'll publish the value, the final score, I don't know, within 2 hours of the open, and it's not the opening value. In fact, I think last month or the month before it, the settlement score for the SPX on the monthly was higher than the high of day. Tell me how this freaking possible. There was no tick at the settlement score of the SPX last month or the month before it. It was a big deal because there were two people in the room that had credit call spread that got blown out. They thought they won because the open was lower than their credit call spread, and they ended up losing $2 because the settlement price was $2 higher than their strike, $5 higher. That was just complete manipulation by Wall Street, but they do that all the time. So I don't do these. So tomorrow there's a contract you cannot trade. That's the AM settled. That's the mothership, by the way. That was the one that was the only one that was available. All right. I feel like I've been talking for 2 hours straight. Have I? Almost. That is long ass session. All right. You mentioned practice with paper money, with real money. Where do I practice? With real money, you're not practicing. You're fighting. It's all hand drawn. Look at it. You practice with paper trading. E-Trade provides you with paper trading. That is a paper trading account right there. See, it says paper trade. So you go in and just fiddle around. This short played out very well, and I said to close it, and hopefully they closed it. I'm short AXB. I paid $4.50 for the 450. That was the entry price, not 515. But in this paper trading, they don't let me pick my price, so it's now $1.10 in the green. I also sold a call spread on this one. If somebody did both, I told them not to do both, but if they did both, they're swimming in money on that one. Palantir, I'm long shares. Super stoked about that. Tesla, those are the puts I told you. I sold for 350 and 225. Again, they don't let me in paper trading collect the maximum. And this was just an example of what I did in order to speak about it. Okay. Are you a compadre? All right, Marlene. All right, so I'm running out of energy. Tell me what you want me to do. I'm here. I'm like the monkey with the cymbals.
Right. Well, I mean, guys, everybody here is really lucky that we're even doing this, really, being able to give you guys not just everything with Nick Shaheen, but also the research platform Benzinga Pro, right? So Inverpledge, if this is a lengthy session, imagine 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. every day with Nick Shaheen, Monday to Friday and Sundays, right?
Who was it? What unusual option? Patrick, what was your ticker? What was the ticker? Anybody remember? ET? Really? Oh, it wasn't for today. Okay, ET. It was for March 31st. Yes. I wanted to show you something. I don't know if you can see it. Did it pop up? It didn't pop up. You can chart that option today. And I wanted to see at what point did they, I'm going to go today. I don't know how you paid 40, 50 cents for it. You must have not bought it today. Anyway, yeah, never mind. I didn't see what I wanted to see. Can I guess the SPY? What do you mean guess the SPY? We guess the SPY all the time. Yeah, sure. Join the group. I do it every day, all day. That's what I do. And I need to know your range. By the way, DraftKings had downside pressure today, so it might give up the gains overnight. We'll see. Everybody's got a system. You have a Tesla 210 put March 24th. Okay, so Snoogie, Tesla, let's talk about you. Number one, why did you take the trade? When and how much did you pay per contract? March 24th. Snoogie. Today, you notice the candle's turning 1,600. All right, so you have $800. Where is it now? $600 in profits. Okay, so here's what you can do with it. You bought it on a reason. Do you have an exit strategy? Like, what is the target profit you want to make? And here's what I would do with it. So here's, I'm calling you Snoogie, and that's not what it says. Sorry if you don't like it. You're gonna have to live with it. So he or she, let's go with he Snoogie bought a put 36 days out, paid $1,600 for it. Right now it's worth $2,200. So he's already green, right? For me, you have to determine in your head, how much money are you willing to make? This is what, 35%? 35%. Is that not enough money for you? Let's say it's not, and your thesis is it's going much slower, and I'm with you on that one. But Tesla moves so fast that it can erase all your profits in a minute. So you need to hedge yourself. Okay, so what do? You hedge yourself by putting it to work. What does that mean? You can tomorrow consider, I'm not telling you to, you can consider selling a put against it. So if you think it's not going to fall tomorrow below 195, you can collect $100 for selling that put. Or if you want to hold it longer, you can go the next week and collect $360 for selling the 190 put. What does that mean? You're locking your profits. Worst case scenario, if it continues to fall, you locked your profits. Okay? So that's what I did with my calls. That's what saved me from having calls go from 300 to 160. I showed you the values. It did go to 160, but I've been selling calls against it. So I'm asking you to consider either blocking some profits if you did more than one contract, or selling some puts if you want to hold it, just in case. Okay, so that's what I would do with it. It's down 2% after hours, so you're making more money now. Good job. What else? Moderna, Musk is IMDb. I don't know what that means. I don't know what you're saying.
What's the deal with Google, Nick? I know a lot of people in the chat room are trading that right now.
Google is falling on stupid ass reasons. The company is freaking, it's an ATM machine. They have the most attention of everything on the planet. I think it eclipses the attention it gets way above and beyond what Facebook has. Can somebody Google and tell me how many hours watched on YouTube is a month? It's probably in the trillions. So they're fine. Google is fine. It's just a matter of, if the market is higher in the future, Google is going to be higher in the future. I guarantee it. So if you want to short the markets, short Google. If you don't want to short the markets, don't short Google fundamentally. Oh, it's going to lose. I remember a day when they said GoPro was the YouTube killer. I shorted GoPro that day. It was $90. So nothing is the Google killer. I promise you.
You don't think GoPro is making a comeback on that chart?
I'm looking to buy calls. I want it. It's on my look, right there. I've been watching it. My two biggest wins in the last 2 years were GoPro. I would tell the guys in December, I'm buying GoPro shares, and then before you know it, GoPro is skyrocketing into high heaven. So this time I missed it because I was getting too cute, and I got a little worried here. I said, this looks like a head and shoulder. I'll wait another day. If it loses this, look, my alert is right here to jump in around 520. And it went to 6. It's like, okay, I missed this one. I'll catch the next one.
Right. There's this, this is a random stock, Siri. It's like a Sirius XM. What do you think of that chart?
Garbage. Don't ask me. Look at what the market thinks of that stock. Let's see over time. Yeah, no touchy. This one is a broken stock. You need to find out if it's a broken company. Okay, so you can explain that head and shoulders, but that's way above and beyond its target, and they didn't even stop here. What's to say they're going to stop here? This company is probably going out of business. You need to do homework. You need to study the company to see if it's still viable. The stock is broken. Is it a meme stock? Well, this is weird. I mean, they're not running out of money. Let me see something here. They create cash from operations. Income statement. Let's go to the annual. This is weird. What is happening here? Yeah, you need to study the company. This is not making any sense. Price to sales is 2. Price to earnings is 15. What happened to... What is this? Yeah, you need to do homework and read up on the company. From a chart's perspective, the chart is broken, and you would be catching a machete that has a 2-inch handle and a 10-inch blade. You're going to lose some fingers.
Interesting. Let's
1 billion hours a day? Whoa. 1 billion hours a day. Whoa.
Let's go through a couple of tickers from the chat here, Nick.
Let's
Maybe
go.
You can show them the sauce there.
No, you can't sell calls right now on Siri. No. Yeah, give me a ticker. Let's run it. NVIDIA, not 3.
Don't forget your favorite UP. What is it? UPST. I heard about them on the news.
Upstart. Yeah.
Yeah.
I own shares. NVIDIA. Avoid. NVIDIA is like NVIDIA. I called this price months ago for the same exact pattern as Tesla and AMD. And they all came to my target. This was my target for NVIDIA from up here. And I'm pretty sure not many people believed it. Now they're going back into the neckline. This is not, here's the nice way to say it. It's a great company. This is not an obvious entry point. I expected this red path to happen. It may still happen from a higher perspective. If you force me to trade it, I wouldn't, because there's earnings. I would probably choose AMD instead. If it has earnings, I don't touch it. If there wasn't earnings, I would sell a call spread. This way, I'm gently shorting it, letting it rally if it wants to a little bit before I get out of trouble. So every arrow I drew on it came to fruition. Look at these bowls. Look at this path right here. The green path I drew. You see it? Let me make it bold. So you can see it. This is the path I had for NVIDIA before it happened. It overshot. buy a lot. So this is not an obvious entry point. And that was my neckline right here. I think it should drop back down to 190, 185 to gather better footing. I don't want it to, but I think it would benefit from it. NVIDIA, Google, somebody said. So I have a credit put spread on Google, and I'm not getting out of it. Not yet. Not in panic. I have until 3-3. So there is a bullish setup that hasn't confirmed itself that could bring it back to 99. So I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch the base at 94 and then the other base at 93.6 and see how it does there. If I were to trade Google for the long term, I would take a position not all in. So if I'm buying shares, I would buy partial position. If I'm buying calls, I would leave a lot of time on the clock and make it a partial position. Leave room to add more. If I'm selling puts, I'm totally okay with that. If I'm selling a put spread, apparently I'm okay with that because I own one. All right. Let's see here. Another one. I'm not going to answer frivolous ones, so I'm going to skip the crap. Microsoft is too high for my take. If I had winnings in Microsoft, I would bail and put them in Google. Shopify, oh, Upstart, you said you wanted. So I own shares. I'm red on the shares. I had them double a couple of times and I didn't book them. I should have. So next time they double, I will book them. I'm slightly down and I'm okay. I'm partial position. I have like 20% of what I would own, but I decided not to add. So it was a speculative bet for me for the long term to see what they do with it. Right here, it is not, I'm not in love with it as a company, so I'm not adding. But if somebody has been tracking Upstart into 19, into 18 would make sense to go long. So look at these yellow boxes. You see these yellow boxes on my screen? That's the conversation in Upstart today. Okay? So this here, somebody said, can I sell a put spread on Upstart? I said, let's go see. And I came up with this put spread. It pays 50 cents on the $2.50 wide spread. And I was like, this is insane. Why does this thing pay 50 cents? Usually market makers price things where they think price is going. It might have a couple of bad days, is what I'm saying. Okay, this is too expensive. I said, if you want to take it, you might as well throw a credit call spread for balance and make an iron condor. This paid 26 cents and it's closer. It has a higher delta than this one, and it's half the price of this one. Things don't make sense there. The market makers are pricing in puts a lot more than the calls. So I said, at least if you do both, you collect 80 cents versus 50 and you're hedged. So if you have a couple of bad days this way, a couple of bad days that way, you lose less money in the case of worst case scenario, and you're balanced. So I said, I wouldn't sell the credit put spreads all by itself unless you're willing to buy shares. So if I do sell that credit put spread and it gets in trouble, I wouldn't defend it. I would take the shares, sell the protection for more money, and break even at around 13. I'm telling you, we are pretty rounded. You won't believe it. It's a lot of fun. And I have a cowbell too. I used the cowbell today. I dropped the F-bomb, which I rarely do. I forgot what it was about. I'm pretty sure it was about the Fed. I dropped the F-bomb and I immediately went. Somebody bought me the cowbell for those moments. What is the blue and gold bar charts on the left side? Eve, this is your next assignment. It's called a volume profile. So Eve is asking, what's this? So you all of you know the volume bars down here. They tell you when things happen. Like they tell you this spike happened on high volume, this spike happened on high volume, but it doesn't really help me much. This stuff tells me where the volume happened. So, for example, this mountain of stuff I'm reading here, again, this is called volume profile, tells me that $17 is the most popular price for this period of time. This is where the bulls and bears love it the most. So I would not be shocked for it to be 1720 tomorrow or the day after. And if so, I will sell this for myself, maybe naked puts too, and trying to make money off of it. And it's by a mile. Look how much more volume there is here than here and then here. So there's not a lot of support. Low volume here, a lot of volume above. So it's falling in strong volume. It's falling into a high volume zone. And this will be support in theory. Look up here, there's not a lot of action. You're welcome. Company showed up. I need to go too, by the way. So I've got 5 more minutes in me tops.
Right, Nick. So give us a quick breakdown here. Any closing remarks, not just on the markets, but why all the members here should join the room. And just for scheduling, at the end, once Nick heads out, I will be showing you guys the live room and also the tools that we will be including just for tonight's special Nick deal, basically.
The biggest benefit you're going to get is you're going to have 360 friends helping you do whatever you try to do. So you'll have camaraderie. You will be less likely to make mistakes, and you will be a much more successful trader. That's results right away. And the other thing is you will have a source of ideas like you wouldn't believe. And you will have, if you're let's say you come up with an idea to trade and you say, hey, I'm thinking of doing this. And if you're shy about asking an open forum, you can come to me directly and say, Nick, I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think? I might join you. Like that person that told me about the Upstart just got Upstart on my trade list, by the way. I think I added it. I'm going to add it right now. So now I have a trade idea for Upstart just because he came and asked me. So it could have been you. I could have made your trade better. So fewer opportunities to make mistakes, more opportunities to profit because, by the way, we have sources of unusual options activities that are solid, and we have 300 people looking at them. So we constantly have offers of ideas of all kinds. We have currency, we have crypto. I'm kicking ass in crypto. And speaking of crypto, Bito, I shared it for the group. And today I had an alert saying it's going in open air. Look, it just beat. It's trying to break out into open air. So I'm long crypto, Bito, Ether, Solana, high risk, among others. So the benefits are too many to enumerate. The summary is you will be a better trader in your own style. You will also have the opportunity to learn many other styles handheld. So you're going to have somebody walking you through it. And I urge you to start with fake money first and then graduate to real money. When you decide you can do it, then you can graduate into doing one contract. And so the damage is totally like focused. Okay. I'm going to sign off if we're done with the questions.
All right, folks. So we have Nick Shaheen. Let's give Nick Shaheen a proper thank you, right? Let's go ahead and make it official here.
Thank you.
One moment.
Yeah, Bito tracks the Bitcoin futures, BTCF. It's excellent.
Right.
Yeah.
Nick, so listen, we've been going over a ton of lessons, strategies, different ways that you're able to help traders from around the world, right? So we want to thank you for being here with us. I know your commitment.
I appreciate it. I love this stuff. And that's why the room is successful. There are better traders than me. I'm very passionate and I love it. I sit in this chair. You know, I'm in California, 3:55. I'm in this chair in the morning. It is now 3:59 p.m. Okay. I did walk my dog once, but nobody found out. I paused my audio, walked my dog, grabbed a bite to eat in the kitchen, and I came back. I wouldn't do this if I didn't love it. I wouldn't do this if I didn't see tangible evidence of people benefiting from it. So if you're serious about trading, I am serious about guaranteeing you will become a better trader. You will learn new stuff, and you will expand your horizon, and you will never, and these are tools you will have for the rest of your life. The value is not even freaking close to what you're getting. I don't know what they're charging you. I don't want to know. Last time I got pissed off, but you're not wasting your money. If you're serious about trading and leveling up your game, join me. And that's it. I'm going to drop the mic right here.
All right, Nick, appreciate you, man. Thanks a lot for everything you do. I'll see you in the chat room tomorrow. And folks, for all the people that did sign up and the people that are waiting here for everything, we'll go over all the details. Nick Shaheen, thanks a lot, man. And we will see you there in the chat room. Let's give him another.
See ya. I appreciate you. Later, guys.
All right, folks. So that's Nick Shaheen, lead trader at the Options Inner Circle chat room. I know a lot of you guys have been waiting to hear what we're going to be doing different tonight. Now that Nick is gone here, I'm going to go over a couple of things and tools here that we offer to help you with trading pretty much, right? Before I dive into all the details, I want to let you guys know on the offer pretty much with the chat room. Today, we're going to be doing something different. We're not doing this again. It's just for tonight. So everybody that signs up for Nick's chat room, right? The 20 email trade alerts a month, the live session, the Sunday, it's all one thing, right? Everybody that signs up with that until midnight will get a 1-year complimentary year of Benzinga Pro. That's the highest level we have on Pro that we offer. And that's pretty much right. It's fully complimentary. It's added as a courtesy. You do need to sign up before midnight, okay? We will be going over a lot of questions. Salazar, we'll check that out. Olivo, absolutely. So now the best part, folks, for tonight, just for tonight, everybody that calls in will get Pro included and also unusual options activity scanner. So I'm going to show you the scanner here really quick so that you can see what I'm referring to, right? In the signals tab, you select options activity. You can filter this by any watch list, right? You can do more filters. Let's just go through a few here, right? Watch list or float, dividend, dividend yield, market cap, price, change in percentage, average volume, sector. You can get deeper than that, right? So for the people that are looking for specific types of trades, they can take advantage of this. I do have a watch list that I'm going to put in here. And that is the QQQ. So this is a watch list basically that I have every single, I have the SPY and the Qs there, but I have every component of the Qs there. So I have Amazon, Apple, Facebook, like all these other, these tech companies, Google. So when you do that, right, you are able to pretty much kind of feel the temperature of the Qs. So you can get a sense of where things are going. And the other scanners, you'll get them as well. The pre-market, aftermarket scanners. I'll show that to you really quick. So this scanner on the left, right, you can pretty much filter if you want gainers, losers, pre-market, aftermarket. This is the only scanner that I know of out there that does pre-market and aftermarket scanning. You can filter by sectors as well, what you want to include, what you don't want to include, or just let it run from everything. And then you have the market cap, volume, float, price. These are things that you really should know already as a trader that you're looking for. When Nick was doing this as an example, we were pretty much trying to stay away from low market cap, low float stocks, and looking for a certain price, right? Depending on what you're trying to trade, you can pretty much filter that so that it pretty much fills, every criteria that you might have there. So that is the pre-market, aftermarket scanners that you guys get. Really quick though, because a lot of you guys have questions on Nick. Olivo, I posted the link for you in the chat. So this is, we'll get back to Pro in a little bit, but folks, this is the chat room where you pretty much get everything, right? So you have Nick's important messages. This is where only Nick can post. So for once you get in here, you click on the live session. This is open 24/7, the blue thing, right? But where Nick is webinar style, 8 a.m. till 5 p.m., it's in this session. You click here, you put in the code. This is basically like Zoom. You just gotta have to download it on your computer or laptop. And you put in the code, you'll be good to go to get there. And you'll be with Nick the entire day, getting coaching, trades, mentorship, guidance, trading feedback, strategy setup. The other thing is that you can also private message Nick, your instructor, right? So I already have him here on the direct messages, but if you do want to find Nick and you do want to private message the instructor so that you can build rapport, you can also explain your situation. In many cases, as an example, you reach out to Nick right here, and it opens the chat, and you can just ask Nick, hey, Nick, this is my account size. I'm trying to generate this much a day. Is this realistic? And if so, how can we get this done? Right? So everybody is going to have a different account size, different risk profile, different goals. So it's really nice that you can get something custom. We don't have really much like of a cookie cutter approach or a one size fits all. Retail traders are pretty different by the bunch. So you can get something that really fits your strategy. If you're an active trader, a passive trader, if you have a full-time or a part-time job and you're trying to create additional income, you have this option, right? And there's a lot of people that are in the chat room that work full-time that messaged me, told me that they've been able to generate more income in the chat room than in their regular job, which is amazing. Really, it's pretty impressive that you can do that today, right? With this technology. So with here, you can private message Nick. You can work on a strategy, something that fits your style, Olivo, that's something that you're trying to do basically. So Nick's important messages, only he can post there. So when he puts something in there, you get a push notification via like a mobile alert. So you just need to download the Benzinga app on the store, your Play Store, your Apple Store, log in with your credentials, and you will pretty much get the notification whenever he's posting here, right? Then you have the inner circle chat where everybody's posting. You can see Nick is also talking there with the folks. And this is the whole community. Right now, there's 110 people online in this chat, going through research, going through messages, right? Making sure they're understanding the conversation. And here, private messages, we went over that. The 20 email trade alerts a month will be sent by email. And you can sign up for text messages if you want. It's pretty much free if you guys want to do that, Olivo. So you can, it's up to y'all. And what else? The Sunday session. Let me show you that for the folks here. The Sunday session, of course, it's obviously just on Sundays. And you guys will pick the tickers, and Nick will go over each and every one of them. Everything from technicals to fundamentals to analysis on the sector, on the macro and the micro level, so that you really get a good understanding of the stock and what's happening around it. These are other videos that Nick will post there, like strategic videos for the week. Then you have, this is the one from Sundays, an example right here. So you can join, the Sunday session is at 10 a.m. Eastern. You can join us here. This is the link to join the meeting on Sundays. If you guys do want to join, we're still there with Nick. So it's 6 days a week. Monday to Friday, you're there for like 9 hours with Nick. So it can be fully educational. It can be fully trading oriented as well. It really is more what you're trying to do. So Olivo is asking sector and micro level, you said yes. Correct. So basically he will do a full analysis. And Michael, let me answer your question here. So basically the only way for you guys to get this deal is if you call the number or email the contact that we're putting in the Zoom call, right? And the other people that are watching on the other platforms, there is a link, there is an email and a phone number. That is the only way that you can get Benzinga Pro added for free at no cost. Normally it costs like $19.97 for the year. Unusual options activity costs like $500 for the year. You're not paying for any of that. It's included in the live room until midnight. So this is something that we were pretty much preparing for you guys. We're not going to do it again. It's a one-time thing. They were pretty specific. They gave me instructions. It's pretty much set in stone, at this point, guys. It's until midnight. You get the pro with all the features, scanners, all that stuff. And you get the community with Nick, everything, the live trading, the emails, the email trade alerts, all that stuff. So yeah, Oliva, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing you there. So we've gone over some of these things here in the chat room. Make sure that once you join, check your email. If you attended here as well, make sure to do that. I just want to make sure I don't miss anything because Pro has so many things here. These, I don't know what these are. Are these currencies? Um, well, I mean, there's tons of different scanners. Actually, to be honest, there's a lot of retail traders that use Benzinga Pro, but there's also different like trading firms and let's say funds that also use Pro because it's so customizable. It's basically the only competition to Bloomberg. I don't even want to call it a competition, but it's just so that we are aware of what this is, right? Like the power of data. It's not a brokerage. No, Jeremy, Benzinga Pro is not a brokerage, but you can link your brokerage to it. Okay, the brokerage, the main goal for the brokerage is it's only to make that trade. Getting your trade ideas, getting your research, your analysis, doing all of that stuff is totally separate. They're pretty antiquated when it comes to that stuff, to be honest, right? So we do have a nice calendar here where you can filter the earnings as well, dividends, economic, FDA guidance, IPOs, M&As, unusual options activity, conference calls, analyst ratings. I don't know if anybody does trade analyst ratings. I do know some people that do that on a 1 to 3 day holding period or trading period. And you can filter this by your watch list and by a lot of other things, to be honest. There's a ton. So let's look at unusual options activity. Let's see what happened today. So I'm going to move this for today's the 16th, right? All right. So it looks like there was a big purchase here on, what is this, ITM? Oh no, this is in the money, okay. On Zillow, there were some calls bought on Zillow today. So a $6 million trade on Zillow on calls. Interesting. It's really, oh wow, okay, all right. Yep, I mean, something's been going on here with Zillow, but you can see in Pro everything, really, pretty much. Like you can, let's see what's been going on. Okay, so they reported earnings. By the way, if you guys didn't know, Benzinga is a news company as well. We do a lot of different things. It's all oriented towards helping the retail trader, just like you and me, right? So you can see all the news in this sense. It looks like Zillow reported fourth quarter sales. They beat on sales. Okay, so it was pretty much earnings related, right? So every company, this is the unusual options activity calendar. So the scanner is the other one that we showed you guys earlier. Something really interesting that I do here also, this is a technical trade by all means. So if you do have this, the signals tool, right, you open it on the left, you have highs and lows here, right? So I click 52-week highs and 52-week lows. And the reason why it's because it's a technical trade. It's reaching a 1 year period, right, where it struggled or failed. So a stock is reaching a 52-week high. Why is it reaching a 52-week high? Do you buy the breakout or do you go short on a rejection? Same thing with the 52-week lows. Why is it going down? Is it really bad news? Okay, do you buy puts on it? Or do you try to buy calls on, to get the bounce back, right? So that it could bounce from support. So you have to do a little bit of digging, but this does a lot of the heavy work, a lot of the heavy lifting. It's basically like having a full-time trading assistant, secretary, helper the entire day, right? And it just gives you this information in the scanners. You can filter this by your watch list. You can filter this by other things, but this is just another example of a technical trade that you can do with Benzinga Pro, right? So let's see, somebody else had another question here about this feature. One moment. All right, so the watch list, right? If you have any brokerage, you can attest to this. They'll typically, they will not include the price action as an example, right? If your watch list, you have 10 stocks and they're all down pre-market. When you're looking at your watch list of stocks, what you're holding, they will not say, that they're actually down or up or anything specific, right? So with these watch lists here in Benzinga Pro, you do get the updates as well, right? So you know how your watch list is doing pre-market. aftermarket, and in the home movers tool here, you can scan starting at 4 in the morning, right? And you can scan aftermarket after 4 p.m. So if you are using anything else, you're not able to scan the markets until like 9:30. So if you're scanning the markets at 9:30, the market's been open for 5 hours already, pretty much. You're definitely behind the curve in that sense. You want to know what's happening in the market pretty much at all times, right? You need that information. So we covered a lot of pro folks, a lot of information here. When you join here, just know there's a great community. There's great people in there. There's Doc, there's JD. There's a ton of great members there. The chat room's been open for like almost close to 2 years. I launched it with Nick at that point, and it's been great. It has evolved completely. It's a dream for any trader, right? Because this way you can start with a community that actually is there trying to help you, right? This is for retail traders. Everybody in there is a retail trader. They can help you along your way, along your journey. This is a tool that you need, right? It's better than any specific skill set, right? Because you will be pretty much working on all those skill sets in the room with all these other 300, 350 people that are pretty much cheering for your success as well. Not just Nick Shaheen, right? So you'll have the ongoing mentorship. It's the entire day, 9 hours a day, Monday to Friday and Sundays. And you can private message Nick at any point, right? If you have any questions, right? So you have the coaching, you have the mentorship, you have the tools, you have the scanners, you have the organization. This is basically like getting a really good trading agenda, if you ask me, because you do need to be organized with this stuff. You can't just be living around there, writing tickers on pieces of papers and napkins, and just leaving them laying around. This is something very important. It's just like a company having a CRM. You need a CRM. This is your CRM of stocks. Much. Look at it that way. This is your Salesforce for stocks, and it gives you a great edge. And in the market, that's what it comes down to, right? What is your edge? If you don't have an edge and you're just following the crowd, you're going to Wall Street Bets, you're going to Stock Twits and seeing what's trending, you're basically the person who hedge funds love taking money from, right? Because you're out there buying these meme stocks and doing all this stuff. And if you trade with a strategy, like if you trade with Nick, the daily hour and Condor, you have a plan, everything's going to change. Instead of having to chase different stocks that you're looking at that you don't even know much about. And also for the people that were asking, yes, Nick Shaheen does provide like this, like technical courses, technical analysis courses in the class. So as you're going through tickers, as you're going through trade ideas, Nick will be pretty much explaining everything from a technical perspective as well, not just fundamental and everything else, but he will explain support levels. And this way you can pretty much sharpen every skill set. You pretty much, I think you'll need like 20 skill sets, right? Separately, you have to develop them to be a successful trader. In the live room with Nick, you will be able to work on each and every one of them. Everything from analyzing charts to understanding markets to analyzing patterns in the market. And there's a lot more obviously in between, because he does talk about different indicators, which you do have several of those inside Pro. And some of the ones that I use here really quick is the relative strength index. This is something that you can customize this here with any colors and things like that, but just so that you guys can see it. This is a great indicator. A lot of people use this, and you can have this on Pro at any point. There's a ton of other things you can look into that. You can also look at peers. So if you're looking at any company, you can look at their competitors so that you can do a sympathy play if there's any specific news in that sector. There's one thing I did want to show everybody here really quick before we do wrap this up here. It's been a great session. Again, for the folks that are asking, the link is in the chat if you guys do want to join the live room with Nick, and you will get this amazing tool, Hedging Pro. If you don't have it, you're literally not doing yourself a favor. It's already tough out there for retail traders and new traders, so you shouldn't try to make it harder, right? Don't go out of your way to make it harder. Get the Pro, get the live room with Nick. That's all you're gonna need. So Benzinga is known for news, right? Let me show you this. You can do keyword research, and this is a keyword that I don't share with a lot of people, but I'll share it with you tonight. So you can do different keywords, and you see that you have different things here like and or not, and not, or, right? So I'm only going to use one keyword, but actually we could do another one. All right, so, but just as an example for this one right now, the keyword I'm searching for is acquisition. So every company out there that puts out a PR with the word acquisition will be pretty much like thrown into this scanner. In this scanner, remember, you can filter this through a lot of things, but this is basically just, we're only filtering through the keyword acquisition. So let's see, if you want to add other words there, obviously you can, come up with other words that you want, like beat, maybe like earnings beat. Like you can pretty much make your own keywords that you're looking at, right? And also different stocks and things like that. So if you want to look at Meta, pretty much gives you everything about Meta, right? So it's a great research tool platform, not just for traders, but also for people that are long-term. So I think that kind of does this for tonight, folks. We covered a lot, to be honest, but I do want to just reiterate really quick, folks, here. What we're doing today, we're really not going to do it again. They were pretty clear about this. Giving you guys access to Benzinga Pro is like a no cost at all, just for free for 1 year, just by getting the live room with Nick. It's something that took a lot of work to get done, but pretty much today's the first and last time that we will be doing this. So if you call me, 2-3 days after today, I will not be able to do that. Unfortunately, it already happened. So just make sure that if you do want to get this deal, call or email. That's the only way you can get it, or you can click on the link that we put in the chat so that you guys can get it. So with that, folks, thanks a lot for being here. I do appreciate everybody's time here. We'll see you guys in the chat room tomorrow. Make sure that if you do have a question or anything like that, reach out. Everybody have a great day. Thanks for being here. Big shout out. Let's go. All right, folks, we'll see you tomorrow in the chat room.